Bill McGinley, who played a significant role in the Trump transition on the legal side, back with us here on the Hill. Hello, sir.
Great to be back.
Great to have you back, finally. So as I outlined there, it's not unusual for presidents to go there. Bill Clinton actually gave a speech there, fairly lengthy, 3 months in his first term. Trump's doing it now 2 months into the second term. It lasted about an hour. I also heard the president talk about egg prices, interest rates, Chuck Schumer, Biden's auto pen, Russia, Ukraine, and Bobby Knight. So this was all over the place today. What did we hear, and what do you think he was actually trying to accomplish today?
I think what it was a triumphant return after he had been indicted 4 times by the prior administration, 2 times at the state level where DOJ officials had gone down and coordinated, 2 times federally. He suffered multiple lawsuits. We saw the FBI raid in Mar-a-Lago on a former president and the chief political rival. And I think what this was a triumphant return for President Trump to say, we are going to restore the rule of law. Okay. We are going to restore equal justice under law. And we're going to have a Department of Justice that's going to apply law to facts as opposed to weaponizing it to go against your chief political rival.
So the argument is, there's a discussion in the country of, was the DOJ weaponized, right? There's many folks like yourself who believe it was. There's others who believe it wasn't. You can have whatever view you wish. One of the things the president did when he got into office was signing executive orders that targeted law firms, specific law firms. You're a big-time attorney in this town, sir, as you know. I want to play the soundbite of what the president said today. I'll get your reaction on the other side.
We revoked the clearances of deranged Jack Smith, Alvin Bragg, Letitia James, and the crooked law firms that aided their partisan persecutions.
You think you should have gone after those law firms as a lawyer yourself?
I think given what he's been through, shot in the ear, all the stuff we just talked about, the indictments, the prosecutions, the raid on Mar-a-Lago, I think he's looking at not only the government actors, but some of the private sector actors that he felt helped create the environment where that could happen. You know, the Democrats have a $2 billion dark money network that employs a lot of these firms.
Should he go there, though? Should he go there, though, and where do you think this ends up?
I think it ends up in the Supreme Court. I think it's one of these things where you go after the private sector organizations like a law firm. I think ultimately it's going to be decided by the United States Supreme Court, and it's going to test. I mean, he has a lot of authority over security clearances, and he has a lot of authority over the federal buildings and the granting of access. But I do think it might be a case of first impression for some of these major law firms. They obviously have allies and the wherewithal to prosecute these cases to go up the chain. And I think at the end of the day, it's going to be the United States Supreme Court that decides this. But for President Trump, I think what he's trying to do is he's trying to level the playing field, get rid of all of the weaponization, and try and get the department back where it's focused on what it should be, violent crime.
So that's what I was going to ask you, is what he should focus on, because the White House today posted or put out on X the picture of the last thing you see, which is going into the Oval, which is the New York Post mugshot headline. Right. You think the focus for Trump should be where going forward?
I think it's going to be on the violent crime. I think it's going to be securing the border. I think it's going to be ending the fentanyl crisis. I think it's going to be making our communities safer. I think it's going to be allowing kids to have a safe community in order to grow up in, and for small businesses to thrive, because the streets are no longer, people getting killed. I mean, you can't walk down the street in the nation's capital without running into somebody who is either the victim of violent crime or knows somebody. And so I think they're right on. I think Ed Martin, the District of Columbia, and Kash Patel, I think both of them have decided that's where we're going to put our focus, and I think that's the right way to go.
Hang around with us, if you don't mind. Other side of the break here, and thank you.